Hi everyone, this is Shishir here. So in this video, we'll be going through how our store was able to generate more than 800,000 US dollars in sales in 8 months in 2019. And I'll go through the main factors that influenced our sales achievement throughout the year. And we'll conclude with a 4-stage process that we've been able to summarize. So make sure to stay till the end of the video to preview that process that I'll share as well in the links to the video. So be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell for upcoming videos. So let's dive into our store right here. As you can see, May 1st to December 31st of 2019 is when we were able to generate about $800,000 in sales, and I'll just rerun some of these stats for you. November 2019 was our biggest month last year when we nearly hit $250,000 in sales and processed more than 5,000 orders in the month of November. And then, as I mentioned, if you look at the 8 months from May all the way to December 2019, our store did about 813,000 US dollars in sales in 2019. Now, as you can see, most of that volume was concentrated in Q4. That's when we really had a very strong momentum on the store, and we processed in total in excess of 20,000 orders in those 8 months. And I'll show you quickly our ads manager. And one thing to note is we had multiple ads managers running our Facebook ad spend, just to make sure that in case any one ad account ran into some issues with policy or was banned for some reason, we would still have backup accounts that we could utilize to still continue to scale and grow the store. So this is showing you a time period of October, basically in Q4 2019. You can see that we spent 190,000 US dollars in ad expense to generate $400,000 in revenue at a pretty healthy ROAS. And we've sorted it by return on ad spend here. If you sort it by the amount spent, some of our largest campaigns spent in excess of 40,000 US dollars with a very, very strong and healthy ROAS, the return on ad spend. You can see some of the other campaigns here are also quite healthy and spent a substantial amount of money. Overall, we had a return on ad spend of 2.2, which is quite positive because for this product, our break-even return on ad spend was just about 1.3 to 1.4. If I scroll to the right, you'll see we had pretty healthy click-through rates throughout the entire campaign. We had significant amount of content views resulting in those purchases, and we also tracked our upsells that were converting through our funnels. So as you can see, we had a pretty successful campaign for 2019. And what I'll walk you through now is the 4-stage process which we use to identify the main successful products and then how to scale them subsequently. As I mentioned at the end of the video, I'll be sharing with you a summary of that 4-stage troubleshooting process that should be very helpful for anyone who's trying to discover the next new product that they can scale. And we use it to troubleshoot our processes. So quick summary here through some slides. 813,000 in 8 months. How we achieved success on our store, we broke it down into 4 aspects: product choice, the target audience, the ad effectiveness, and also the conversion rate of our website. So starting off with the product choice here, the first product over the lifespan, over the 8 months, we had 2 main products that were really doing quite well. The first product is what was getting a lot of sales from roughly May to July of 2019. And then August onwards, the second product kicked in while the first one tapered off. So our first product was a very low ticket item. It was a problem solving product. We priced it initially at $9.99. So it was really meant to be an impulse buy. And later on we were able to increase the price to $14.99 without really affecting the total sales volume too much. But one way I like to approach testing products is I'll initially try to keep it at a lower end of my mental price range, just so that I can remove one potential factor that may be hindering the success of the product. So I want to make sure that it's not price that people are rejecting the product for. I want to make sure that my ads are effective, they're generating enough traction, and if I'm getting purchases, then I'll experiment raising the price to see if the audience tolerates it. So like I said, our first product was pretty low ticket, but we're still able to generate substantial sales through that one product. The second product, we started having more traction in late summer, in August of 2019, and that that carried on all the way till the end of 2019. This was again a low ticket item, and interestingly, it was not a problem solving product, but it was unique and eye catching. And it's something that customers would not have seen previously. We priced this initially at $19.99, so still sub $20, but we were able to increase the price later on to about $25. Main difference here was that we learned how to develop a strong funnel of complementary products to increase our average order value, and that made a world of difference to our profitability in the end. So in summary, for product choice, I would say that the products either need to have a problem-solving angle, and if they don't, they need to have some unique eye-catching visual that people get attracted to. So coming to the target audience, the first product here for our target audience, we tested with different interest targeting with fairly focused interests. And then when some of them started working, then we scaled horizontally to related interests for the product. We increased our budgets at the ad set level at that time. So for the first product, CBOs were not very successful for us. And this was roughly in mid-2019. So at that stage, CBO itself was having some issues from the Facebook end. So that may have been part of the reason, but CBOs were not very successful for the first product, and we were scaling mostly through increasing ad set budgets. For the second product, we started with interest-based testing, but we scaled in Q4 mainly by going much broader, and in many cases with no interest targeting whatsoever. And if I can show you quickly, some of our largest campaigns in the ads manager here were actually not having any interest targeting at all. So you can see here, these were 4 countries that we were targeting, and the only criteria we specified was the age, which is more than 25 plus. Beyond that, there was no interest targeting whatsoever. So that really broadens your horizons, because you're targeting an audience of maybe 200 million people, and you're much less likely to saturate that audience quickly because it's so huge. Likewise, another campaign here which spent a lot of money, this one here, $16,000, again, completely broad audience. And the only difference is that this particular campaign was operating off of lifetime budget, while this one was a CBO from using a daily budget. So we are always testing different things to try and scale the products, and testing different types of campaigns. And sometimes they work, sometimes they didn't. Main thing was that we cut our losses quickly, and we continue to scale up the campaigns that worked. So coming back to the second point here, that was the target audience. Overall, the main thing is that you have to develop your customer avatar. You have to research your customers, figure out through the Amazon reviews, why are people buying that particular product? And that will help you to find the kind of customers that you should be targeting. For example, if you're buying something related to sports, and it's a sports problem-solving product, the comments will tell you maybe it's soccer moms that are buying it for their children. So then okay, that's a potential interest target. So as opposed to targeting just soccer, you can target female mothers, mothers who are in a particular age bracket, who are likely to have children who are playing soccer. So that would be a good example of doing that product research to help you identify the interest targeting that will help you reach them more effectively. Thirdly, coming to ad creative. So that's a third element here. The ad creative is also a very important variable. If you've figured out that your product choice is good, if your target audience is effective, then the next variable is the creative you're using to attract the customers. The key for us was to test multiple creatives and making sure that once the product showed that initial potential, we would reach out to 3 or 4 video editors through Fiverr and have them produce new creatives for us. And then we would very rapidly test them with new thumbnails and copies and angles. And that's where Facebook really shines, when it's given a lot of different creatives to work with. Then that's when we figured out, okay, so we scale with the winning combination of ad sets and creatives. So not every creative will work with every ad set and audience, and not audience will work with every creative. So whichever combination is giving you the best results, those are the ones that we then chose to scale subsequently. Likewise, another way to make your ad creatives more effective, again, is by using those Amazon reviews for your product and distill the main 2 to 3 reasons why people are buying that product, and include those in your video ad and in the copy for your ad. Lastly, the fourth major factor that will affect your success is your website conversion rate. And this is also very crucial because it's the fourth element. How your product page appears on mobile is the most important, because that's where, at least in our case, 90 to 95% of our traffic landed on our page through mobile. So the performance and visual appeal of your page on mobile is very important. The product descriptions have to be effective. They have to appeal to the emotions of the customer. So don't just talk about the features of the product, talk about why it's a product that they cannot do without. How will their life change with the product in their life? Pop-ups. Now that's a controversial subject. Our experience was that pop-ups really kill conversions on our website. And there's obviously some benefits to them, but in our opinion, we focused on not interrupting the customer purchase process. We even, in fact, didn't cross-sell on our main product page, because our point was that we wanted to make sure that the customer purchases the product that they've come to see, and then once they have decided to buy it and completed the purchase process, then we would upsell other related products which may be complementary in nature. And in subsequent videos, I'll share with you some of the apps that I use to create the funnels that increase that average order value. Fourth point here, the page load speed, again, is very important. Every additional second that it takes to load your page will reduce the conversion rates by 10 to 20%. People have very short attention spans, so you have to make sure that your page load speed is as snappy as possible. And lastly, the GIFs, whether or not to include GIFs in your product description. This is, again, there's a trade-off involved. The upside is that GIFs are very effective in explaining the benefit of the product quickly and grabbing the attention of the user, especially when it comes to problem-solving products. The flip side is that it will slow down your page load speed just because of the way GIFs load on your page. So you have to take that into consideration. So once those 4 factors are solved and each of the 4 links is working, that's when you know you're ready to scale the product. So an overview of how we did our scaling. We first had a testing phase, of course, where we would allow 3 to 4 days and about $200 to $300 in ad budget for a product to prove itself and whether it's successful or not. If it was, then we would move it to a prospecting phase. This is where now we're trying to identify new audiences and new creatives at slightly higher budgets to see if it still continues to produce a positive return on ad spend, ROAS. And then if it passes through that stage, then we're really committing to scaling it aggressively. And we're moving, as I mentioned, the successful combination of audience and ads and ad creatives to the scaling campaigns. So broad audiences is what worked very, very well for us in the latter half of 2019, especially in Q4. We were able to scale many of our CBOs by increasing budgets 1.5 times, 2 times every few days, and that did not affect our return on ad spend. So our focus, another point here important, aside from scaling, we spent an equal amount of time testing new products which could be of a complementary nature to the main product that we were selling, because that is what really bumped up our average order value at the end of the day. Because what we realized is most of the time, the upfront product that you're advertising, most of the time it's going to be break even after the spend, ad spend that you're having to make. But if you're able to double or 1.5 times the average order value, that's when you start making the profit, because you've already paid a fixed amount of money to get that customer to your website. It's a sunk cost. So any extra order value that you can generate from that customer is going to go straight to your bottom line. So that's very important. So here's a quick summary that I was talking about. The 4-stage process that I've described to you, and we've encapsulated this in a troubleshooting mind map almost. The product choice is the first element, the target audience, second, the ad effectiveness, and the website conversion. So if you are struggling to find the right products, or you're struggling to find winners, then there's something in one of these 4 areas that is broken. And these are the questions that you should ask yourself. For example, if the product, you're not sure if the product is right, then ask yourself these questions. Have others had success selling the same product? Look at the number of orders that the product has on AliExpress. Is it problem solving, or is it eye catching? Have you checked out the product's Amazon reviews? Maybe it's just a poor quality product and people don't like it. If all of those questions are answered, move on to the second area, target audience. If the product is good, are you targeting the right people? Are your audience sizes too small? Have you tried broadening the audience sizes? Have you done quite a bit of in-depth research into your customer avatar? So develop all of that to understand who your customers really are. Once you figured that out, move to the ad effectiveness. Is your ad effective? Have you tried a variety of different scroll stoppers? Have you tried different thumbnails? Are you showcasing in your video some combination of pain point, solution, reviews in the video ad? Again, coming back to Amazon reviews, have you used them to distill the main reasons why people are buying those products? And you should be including those reasons in your advertisement, whether it's in the video or in the copy somewhere. And lastly, coming to the website conversion, again, ask yourself these questions. Is your website too slow? Are you making it too cluttered and too spammy looking for people to have trust in your website? Does your product description focus enough on the emotional side, or is it just talking about the features? So these 4 areas will help you to troubleshoot finding the right products. Now, once they're all working, that's when you're ready to scale. Now, if some of this screen is currently being blocked off by my video, don't worry, I'll keep a link of this particular graphic in the comments of this video, so you can refer to it there. But as I mentioned, once these 4 aspects are working, that's when you're ready to scale. And here are some of the main tips that you can look at when deciding to scale, and the things that you should look out for. So I hope that's been useful for all of you, and stay tuned for more videos coming up, and make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit the like button if you found some value in the video. Cheers.